Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Here it is, the NCAA Hoops Hour, and I am the big man on campus. Hope you're having a great Wednesday afternoon, enjoying your day. Wherever you are, it's 5 o'clock, and that means it's time for the Hoops Hour. We'll break down plenty of college basketball tonight and have some fun along the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your day and maybe made some money on soccer or you worked, whatever you did today. I hope it went well for you. It is February 27th, 2019, and we are one day closer to the tournament. We are under a month away from that first great Thursday where we see all the great games, and this is going to be your headquarters for it. Make sure you're tuning in every day. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And as always, make sure you like the show. If you're catching it after the fact, make sure you comment. But we're here and we're ready to go. Nice night last night. Gave a few free plays out. Had some success. Gave out Virginia Commonwealth in the first half. That one got the job done. We also had A&M. They came through the back door, and that's kind of what I told you would happen. I told you it was a lot like that Missouri Kentucky game a few weeks ago, and it was one that came right through the back door. So there we go. We get two winners there, and we'll highlight one or two again tonight, and try to give you some free plays as well. I have one a premium selection today. Pounced on this one pretty quick, and we'll get into all the great games here as we go forward. Already about 170 people in here. Thanks for checking me out. And if you're in here, make sure you say hello. Before we get to the actual games themselves, I want to do some shout-outs and tell you about our sponsor, MyBookie. Make sure if you're in the market for a new book, March Madness is coming. Make sure you have a multitude of different books, and make sure that MyBookie is one of them, one of the best books out there as far as the amount of lines they have. They'll have conference tournament odds. They have some great contests for brackets, and the pads can be done within 48 hours. Make sure you're getting some skin in the game, and make sure you're joining MyBookie as the tournament gets here. Use promo code BMOC. Get yourself 50% on your first deposit, up to $1,000. It is only for first-time depositors, so make sure you're checking that out and supporting the sponsors and keeping this show free. Let's shout out a couple people. Mikey D, Vinny, Marcos, Martin, James, David, Christofferson, Chiarchi, Steve, Matt, Isaac, Joe Heater, Ashley Wynn, Salty Dog, Brendan, Dom Fotai, Matthew Knutson, Troy V, Big Tom, Sportsman, Mitchell, Bernie, Matthew, David, Mark, Matt Mado, Charles Hanscom. What's up, buddy? Shun, Mike Butler, Space Monkey, Jordan, Adam, Jay, BMC, I Eat the Bones is in here, Toma, David, Corey, Jar Jar, Michael, Gawat, Melvin, Niles, everybody in here. Thanks for joining us. Am I watching the Michael Cohen trial? It's not a trial, but yes, I am watching the Michael Cohen thing. I've had it on all day. Michael Cohen, obviously, again, is not being, he's not in a trial. He's already been convicted, but he's providing some interesting info. Estevan, what's up? Make sure you hit the like button. That's dead right. Thank you, Edens. Appreciate that. Eden supported the sponsor. What else do we have here? Shout out to the CFL for kicking Johnny Manziel. I don't shout at anyone that loses their job. It's never good there. The reverse bet works well in MyBookie. Yep, we talked about that yesterday. Thanks, David. Sorry about your loss, Adam. Hopefully you find closure. Sorry to hear that. Does MyBookie have all the soccer leagues? Yes. You can bet up to the National League, which is very cool. They have League One, League Two, the Championship. So, yes, they have pretty much all the leagues. All right, let's get into some games here. I am very interested. This is a fun card. Some interesting games to talk about. Let's get into it. We'll start out with Penn State hosting Maryland. And, on the surface, this game looks interesting. Obviously, people are kind of wondering to themselves, okay, there's almost 5,600 tickets on this game. And, the line just kind of stayed the same. And in some instances, the lines actually went down. You look at Maryland, 70% of the tickets, 64% of the money is on the Maryland Terrapins, which is interesting. That's a concern. But I'll tell you what, that's pretty much the only concern here. You look at on the surface, this is not a particularly good schematic matchup for Penn State University. You look at Maryland and really what they do on offense and how they're so effective is not only they play a lot of in and out basketball, so they're going to look to get it to Bruno Fernando. If Fernando doesn't get it there, they're going to drive and kick. They're going to get Fernando to pump it out to the shooters, and it's either inside out. That's what they do. They've been very effective at it. You look at again, though, this year, that's not exactly what Penn State wants to see. Penn State is a team that really has issues defending the three. You look at in the Big Ten, they're averaging and allowing teams to shoot over 40% in conference. This Maryland team, number one in the Big Ten from the three-point line. You look at also the fact that 34% of Maryland's total points come from the three-point line. For Penn State to have a chance this game, Maryland's going to have to shoot the ball really poorly. And look, the truth of the matter is they just really don't do that very often. You also look at Penn State. This isn't exactly a great matchup for them because, they're not really a big team outside of Mike Watkins. And, Mike Watkins really hasn't had, a great season. This Penn State team, look, truth of the matter is just isn't very good. They don't have a lot of success. And I know people will point to the fact that they beat Michigan, and that was a similar spot to this one. But the truth of the matter is in Michigan, they got absolutely worked. Maryland's a team that I think will give them problems just because of the way that they set up Maryland. It's not a good matchup. But again, if you talk to sharp bettors, everything I just told you, they wouldn't give a flying fuck about. But again, for me, it's a combo of both. Do I like the line here? No, I don't. That is a concern. Las Vegas and people that create lines, they don't put things out there just to put them out there. You look at Maryland, this is a game that they shouldn't have any trouble with. But this is also a game that is an away game. And you look at their last 5 away games, they've lost 3 of them. The away wins were at Nebraska and at Iowa. 2 solid wins. This should be a win. Again, would I bet a ton on it? No, but I probably would have a unit on Maryland. I think the matchup's that good for them. But keep in mind, Maryland does have a pretty big game to look ahead to, not till Sunday, though. So, leave that for what it's worth. But, again, is this my favorite play of the night? No. Is this even a free play? One of my favorite free plays? No. It's really just, I'm just going over it because it's interesting. Penn State has covered 6 straight. Yeah, but, again, you have to look further deeply into those games. They were big underdogs in those games. They basically have to win this game. So I'm not really sure that that's something that I buy into here. Am I on Boise State today? Why would I be on Boise State today? Because I have a Boise State shirt on? Again, guys, let's not talk stupid here. If I'm on Boise State, I'll tell you I'm on Boise State. Again, you guys don't have to ask me about certain games. That Martin Green profile, I have a feeling, is a bit of a troll. He's been kind of bothering me everywhere. I think he's trying to pretend to be Martin Green, and he's not. It's kind of a weird situation. But, again, I'll go over a lot of the games here. Indian Cowboy picked Penn State. Good for him. I wish him luck. I don't know that I see it here. You can't just pick games because the line doesn't make sense. That's important, but it's not everything. Do I think Penn State will have success turning the Terps over? Look, any team, can turn a team over, but no, I think Maryland is. Look, is it something that I love? No. But again, there are more metrics I like that Penn State doesn't do than do. We can't just look for one straw and say, well, they do that well. Yeah, I guess, but we'll see. I don't really see it. But again, it's not one of my favorites. I'm really just going over this game. Let's keep it moving here. We're not going to block him. We're just going to watch him. We have no reason to block him, but I think he's just trying to insinuate shit that I'm on Boise because I have a Boise. It's Boise State football, by the way. It says football below it. It's just a shirt. Robbie Tops, Penn State's a lock. Okay, well, bet it then. Good luck. I hope you win. Let's keep it moving here. UCF headed on the road to take on South Florida. This line's up to 3, up from 2. It's opened at 2. It's up to 3. Obviously, the public backing Central Florida, and for good reason. This is a very good spot. And Central Florida is a team that is playing some great basketball right now. They just are. You look at the fact that, I think UCF's in the tournament right now, but again, they really need to shore that up, okay? You look at Saturday, big game against Houston. Also have a big game next Thursday against Cincinnati. They have the ability to put themselves in the tournament from an at-large perspective, okay? But again, those games don't mean much if you lose tonight at South Florida. And while on the surface, people will say, oh, well, look, South Florida's 18-9. They're actually a pretty decent team. Okay, maybe. But again, I am all about matchups, guys. I think it wins more than it loses. And I think it's a great way to identify a team. I've talked about UCF many times. And the truth about South Florida is they've stayed in games a lot of the time because they get to the foul line. They're number 1 in the AAC at getting to the line. They get to the line a lot. Number 1 in the league, like I said. But you look at UCF. I mean, UCF's not just a good defensive team in conference. They're a great defense in general. 42nd in defensive efficiency. You look at in the country, they're 9th in 2-point defense, 2nd in 2-point defense in the AAC, and they just really don't put you on the line. It's not something that they're going to let you do. They're not going to just let you do what you want to do. And you look at UCF, kind of how they score. They score from 2 different things. Getting into the paint and getting to the line, which South Florida is notorious at just not being able to defend without fouling. And you look at this team from a 5 perspective. What they've done this year is B.J. Taylor's kind of slid over to be more of a 2, and they have a kid that's ran their point guard. He's a new player. He's out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, Terrell Allen. He's been able to run their point, and he runs it at such a high level. Plus, he's one of the better defenders they have. It's either getting it to the lane or it's getting the basketball down low to Taco Fall. You look at the first time these two teams played, and it painted a really good picture as to what I think this matchup is. It's a double-digit win a lot of the time to UCF. You look at in that game, Taco Fall, 21. He dominated them in this game. Dawkins, Taylor, Allen, all double figures. Colin Smith threw 9. So 4 of their 5 starters were in double figures. They got to the line a lot, and that's normal. That's what happens when you play South Florida. You get to the line a lot. There's a lot riding on this game for Central Florida. This is a bridge game. You lose this one, you don't play well in this one, you're writing your death wish, really. So, be that for what it's worth there. What else do we have here? UCF won their last 13. Won by 30. Yeah, I talked about that already. What's up, big man? What's up, Isan? Thanks for watching. This line is definitely a factor when capping, but I always like the better team. I'm not so sure. I mean, the line went from 2 to 3. The public's on it, and it's went up. It makes sense. Listen, Robbie, again, if your situation, I guess, is just going against everything I'm betting, which is fine. That seems like what you're all about tonight. Robbie just disagrees with everything I say. I mean, you're getting to the point where you're reading in way too much to every game. And that's where you become a losing gambler. You can't be looking into such – it seems like every game we've talked about, you're like trying to go the other way. Explain to me your point here, because it doesn't make any sense. What do you mean odds makers have hung a carrot on a stick in front of us on this one? The line opened at 2. It's up to 3. They're a 6-point favorite on the road. I'm not really sure your point here. That's what the line should be. Again, I get it. If you want to go again the other way, that's cool. But again, I want you to just pause a little bit here. And again, I don't know everything. I'm giving you my opinions from a schematic standpoint. Everyone has a discussion. But again, you're listening to me. I'm not listening to you. So again, maybe you should start your own show and go be the proverbial carrot on the stick guy. You got to look at everything. You cannot just be the guy that's just trying to say, "Oh, I'm going the other way there." There's guys that do that, but the only reason they do that is to be the guy that just says that they were on it. If that's what you want to do, then do it. I'm trying to help you and teach you that you got to look at more than just what the line's telling you. Let's hear. Keep it going here. We'll go down to Virginia, Georgia Tech. This is an interesting one. Virginia down to 18, and the total is at 120.5 or 121. This one's come down considerably, 21 to 18. Again, I'm not really understanding the reason for it. We just have to marvel, guys, on what Virginia is able to do. I mean, they've given up 65 or more points 3 times this year, and 2 of them were against Duke. They've given up 52 or less 13 times, and they've given up 45 points or less 6 different times. Georgia Tech team, last in the ACC in efficiency offensively. But I think we may look maybe a first half option here. You look at on the season, this Virginia team on average at home up 14.5 points at halftime. Seems like a nice get-right spot. There's not many teams that have been better at home in the first half than Virginia. In fact, there's only one team in the country that has been better at home in the first half margin-wise, and it's Gonzaga. Gonzaga's up by almost an average of 20 points a game at half. You look at the second team, it's Virginia. What makes that so amazing is they play in the ACC. That's how dominant this group is. It's kind of amazing. This appears to be yeah, but they're not a big rival. Stop saying that. They're not a big rival. UCF's not a big rival to South Florida and vice versa in basketball. They're not. I don't know why we keep talking about that. Maybe in football, but this isn't football. Again, do what you want to do, bro. I'm just telling you. You seem like a guy that just wants to bet everything on every contrarian play. Those people don't win a lot. There's got to be, it's got to make sense. So, again, this is not the Robbie show or this is Jeff's show, and this is what Jeff says. So, good luck. I hope you win. And yeah, I mean, I ask myself, I put a score in my head and I say, what's the most likely score? Is it more likely that Georgia Tech score more than 50 or under 50? And to me, it's under 50. Like, does this not have 72-50 written all over it? It's interesting, isn't it? But don't forget about what I said about the first half. No look-ahead games for Virginia. Texas Tech, they have Oklahoma State tonight. Similar situation here. I mean, beat Oklahoma State by 28 first time these two teams played. Texas Tech playing well. They've won 7 of 8. 6 have come by double digits. So, I mean, they're playing some real effective basketball right now, Texas Tech. They're a team that I, again, will continue to talk about. I think you got to start talking about this group as we get closer to March. They're good enough to get there. They're good enough to make runs. And they're playing their best basketball right now. You look at 4 of their last 7 wins have come by 20 or more. I mean, that's important. I mean, this Texas Tech team is legit right now. They're not only beating teams, they're fucking beating teams badly. And you look at what Oklahoma State wants to do offensively. I don't think there's a more one-trick pony in the Big 12 than Oklahoma State. They almost exclusively score from the three-point line. That's all they do. You look at this year in the Big 12. I mean, it's been ugly for Oklahoma State. They're number one in the league in point distribution from the three-point line. That's all they do. They don't get to the foul line. They have nothing in the half court. And Texas Tech's the number one three-point defense in the league. They're the number 4 best three-point defense in the country. Explain to me, from a feasible standpoint, how they score in this game. And it's in Texas Tech. I'm sorry. I'm biting here. Give me Texas Tech, play of the day, free play. It's going to be my first one, minus 14.5. I'm just not looking to step in front of this group right now. I'm just not. And I hate this matchup for Oklahoma State. I think this team's bruised. I think they're battered. And I just don't think they're very talented. They're going to have to shoot the moon tonight to stay within 15 of this one. It seems like to me right now, Texas Tech has a big eye on a prize here. So all they have to do now, though, and again, I mean, you look at the last few games for Tech. Set 91-62, 86-61, 78-50, 81-50, 84-65. I mean, even in Oklahoma, that was a nice win by 12 in Oklahoma. This team's pretty good, Texas Tech. And I know it didn't start out great, but they're really starting to score the basketball. I mean, you look at the last 2 games. He put up 91 in the last game. Culver was fantastic. Moretti's giving you 3 or 4 threes a game. Mooney's giving you 3 or 4 threes a game. Brendan Francis is giving you something off the bench. Odiasi, 8 points, 13 rebounds. I'm telling you right now, if Lawrence Odiasi plays that way in the NCAA tournament, this team will go to the Final Four. They're that good on defense. And it's one of the reasons, hence, I bought a ticket off Prop Swap on Texas Tech. This team just is well coached. Chris Beard is a top 8 coach in the country. All they need to do is get this kind of production they're getting right now, and they're getting it right now. And it's a great time to get it. And that's why for weeks I've been telling you, I think Texas Tech's going to win the Big 12. Oh, man, what else do we have here? Let's keep it moving. We'll take some questions a little bit later. A big game tonight in the Missouri Valley. Illinois State looking to get some big revenge on Missouri State at home. If you remember, guys, a few weeks ago, Missouri State was all over SportsCenter after that amazing half-court shot at the buzzer to beat Illinois State. Listen, if Illinois State can't get up for this one, I don't know what to say. And you look at this game. I mean, public slamming Illinois State in this game, and they should be. Illinois State should be able to match up pretty well here, and they have some big-time revenge. But I'll tell you where I'd go in this game. I'd lean first half. I don't know that I trust Illinois State to put a full game together, but I do expect them to come out here pissed off, and I think they win this game in the first half. You probably just have to have them win in the first half. I think first half money line's worth a look in Illinois State. I think they're surely up. They should have their full attention in this one right away. Houston, East Carolina. This one's been bet down as well. Kind of an interesting move down. Tonight, guys, there's a lot of games where in the first game, a big-time ranked team beat up on the lower little team, and that team's got to kind of come up and play well. East Carolina lost the first game by 44. And I've talked about East Carolina. I think they're a pesky team. They generally play teams pretty pesky. Pesky against Memphis twice. Pesky against UCF. Pesky against Temple. They're pesky. But Houston's a different type of team. Not one I'm in love with. I talked about this game on a radio spot I did today down at East Carolina in Greenville. they're kind of just excited about the future with East Carolina. East Carolina, not necessarily a basketball school. Do keep in mind, though, Calvin Sampson is from North Carolina. Maybe he takes the dogs out a little early, up 16 with 2 to go. Who knows? Not a game I really had much opinion on. Do I like Texas Tech first half? Again, I didn't mention that. So again, I have no opinion on it. I do want to kind of keep account of the listener count today. I want to let everyone know we will get to some free plays, some more free plays here in just a second. But today I'm doing something special, and I'm going to do it every 27th of the month. People ask why the 27th. I don't know. It's just a random day that I felt like doing it. Every 27th going forward, we're going to donate to charity. The highest amount of listeners we get at one time. So right now it's at 427. Let's get these listeners up. Let's keep it going. Let's get up to 500 or 600. What I'm going to do every month on this day is I'm going to donate half that amount to charity. So if we get 512 people, I'm going to donate, whatever half that is, 200 and whatever it'd be, 62 or what. I don't know. I'm thinking of games right now, so I'm not thinking of math. But if we get 600 listeners at one point, we're going to give 300 to charity. So get your friends in here, get people in here, and get this chat going, because I enjoy taking care of the community. I enjoy helping the community. I don't really talk about charitable efforts because I'm not one of those people. I don't really want a notification for the charity that I give. You see people that need people to say, "Oh, great job, thanks for doing it." But I don't really want that. I just want to help people and help them. And this is a very public way of doing it, but all you're going to see is the donation, and you'll know that I did it. So I feel that we need to start helping more people. Unfortunately, we're quick to bring people down, but we need to start helping people more. And I'm going to give it to a charity of my choice in my community that I can help. So we were up to 427. So that's the running number right now. So do me a favor, go retweet this show on Twitter. Let's get this up. Let's get it up to 600, 700. We're selling out other shows here. Other shows will try to pull the wool over your eyes and say they get listeners. I have 50,000 listeners less than a place like SBR, and I get more listens on my shows than they do. So I'm very happy with what I'm doing, and I'm proud of what I'm doing. Let's get this in here, and we'll try it. We'll keep it going. We'll do this every 27th. Are the email problem fixed? Did you get an email today or yesterday when I sent it out? So again, it's not fixed. There's really no way to fix it. It's not really going to be totally fixed until I get my website. But for right now, the plays are getting to you, and that's all that matters. I don't know why they were tweeting at me. I guess they want to try to act like I'm telling a story, but it's all fun. I'm not telling any stories. Is it worth it if we donate to the chat? In other words, listen, if you want to donate and be part of the donations, you can. I'll give you the charity. You can donate yourself. I don't want the money. I don't want to deal with that. You go and donate it to someone for you. Listen, here's something you can do to make someone real happy. And I'll tell you what you can do. The next time you go to the grocery store and you're standing in line, okay, the person in front of you, as they're about to pay, say, "Hey, you know what? It's on me today. And I don't want to hear yes or no." And you do that. That's a great way to help someone out. You help another fellow community member. You help someone that needs it. You make someone else's day better. Or go to your local shelter, or go somewhere where you give the money to someone that will use it right away. Don't give it to some big charity that you don't even know where the money's going. Go give it and make it worth someone today. Go give it to someone and say, here's, and they don't even have to be totally in need. Just help someone in front of you. Pay for their groceries. You see Girl Scouts, buy the cookies. Whatever. Any way that you can make them happy, do it. Let's get back to the games here. We'll go to here's a good one. Drake. Best team in the country against the spread. You know who it is? Drake. Number 1. And tonight, they got a pretty big matchup against Indiana State. A matchup that, I got to tell you, I think this is a good one for Drake. Drake almost exclusively, great defense, defend without fouling. Indiana State very reliant on getting to the line, getting into the lane. This is a pretty good defense here, Drake. I think they do a nice job at really shutting off and walling that off. Drake's been a great cover team. Why not, right? You gotta kind of stick with what's hot, right? Number 1 in the country against the spread. Drake at 21-6 against the number. That's impressive. You look at it as a favorite, 10-2 when laying points. How about that? 10-2 against the number. Don't do that. Just go on any line. Don't worry about it. It's only money. Thank you, Izzy. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't care about senior night. I don't think that means anything. Frankly, I hate that. I hate that argument. It's senior night, so they're just going to play well. It really only matters at four-year institutions. It doesn't matter anywhere else. It doesn't matter at Duke or Louisville. It doesn't matter. A school like Drake is somewhat. But to me, it's only really a first half kind of play. I don't think it matters full game-wise. Any news on Loshak? I reached out to Peter Loshak recently. I haven't heard from him. I still try to maintain contact with him. He is a guy that was the first person I worked with at SBR. I've heard he's not been around, so I hope he's okay. He's a good guy, Peter. He was one of the first people that I did videos with in this business. So I shot him out. Good guy. Always was very nice to me. You gotta love these people on Twitter. So I post something about the Michael Cohen trial. Someone hits me up and says, "Stick to basketball. Stay focused." You shut the hell up. Shut up, dude. Why don't you stick to fucking worried about yourself? Fucktard. How about that? I hate those kind of people. Why don't you stick to minding your own business, cuz? How about that? I didn't say anything rude. Thank you, Nate. Appreciate that. No, senior night means Ugats. Politics ain't going to add clients. I didn't talk about politics. Listen, I'm not going to not be who I am. I'm not I don't talk politics. I don't push views on anyone. It's my Twitter. I can do what I want to do. But if you're not going to sign up with me because I didn't vote for Donald Trump, then okay, oh well. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'm firmly fine with you liking Donald Trump. I wouldn't care. Couldn't care less. Doesn't make you less of a man or any more of a man. Doesn't mean anything to me. I know a guy named JJ. He's a local guy. Lives in Philly. He loves Donald Trump, and I don't. But it doesn't matter. We're friends. Doesn't matter. I don't care about that kind of crap. Villanova Marquette. That's an interesting game. Villanova Marquette. I'm going to just come out and say it. I would take Villanova. What's the recency bias here? It's like Kansas State the other night. We fell into that ploy there, remember? Remember that one? We got beat for it. I'm not doing that again. I think Villanova wins. I think they're up late in this game by 8. They're going to have to fear off a cover. Listen, if Villanova can't get up for this one at home, I don't know what to say about Villanova. I think we really got to worry about them. But I think this is a good spot for Nova. This is just like that Kansas game the other night. Just like it. This is one where if I'm Robbie Tops, here's a good one for you. This is the kind of game you play. Big man, I'm going to suggest your service to all the dudes at Barstool. All of them together might be down 50 units. Listen, we've all had bad seasons, including myself. I was terrible in college football. Listen, this is gambling, people. You don't win every game. Sometimes you have bad seasons. The people at Barstool, Big Cat, Dave, Marty Mush, all those guys, they're all entertaining. They all know a lot about sports, and they know a lot about betting. I know they lead on that they're not good gamblers, but they watch it. They know what's going on. They're not oblivious at all. They know what they're doing. I like what they do gambling. I really do. I think it needs me, but again, I'm just here doing a show for 426 people. Big Cat, I've talked about. He's one of my favorite people on earth. I mean that. I think he's uber talented, and I think everything he does is phenomenal. And I think he's a lot better gambler than he leads on. Dave Portnoy, I think he is as well. The good thing about him is he has a ton of money. I think they do a lot more than they lead on, and that's pretty clear. They don't need me. They don't need me to give them weight. They'll be fine. What do we got here? Come on, guys. This is his Hoops Hour. Settle down, Izzy. We know. We're just talking. There we go. Matt Varnum checking in. New high is 436. Let's keep it going. Get it up to 450. I'm glad you are looking at that, Varnum. Keep an eye out for it. Thank you, Russ B. Maybe. Gina James, thanks for checking the show out. Thanks for watching. Marcus Houston's taking Radford. That's a good one. I actually like that one, to be honest. One thing we have to remember, guys, you look at Radford and Campbell. Big game on Saturday. They play each other. Last game of the season. If they both win tonight, Campbell will be one game back heading into a game on Saturday against Radford. What a great game that's going to be on Saturday. Radford-Campbell. How about that? I actually like Radford tonight. I agree. I bet on them a couple of times in a non-conference, one of which was a big-time outright win against Texas as double-digit underdogs. Radford off a loss. Can't afford one tonight. Already beat High Point, beat him in overtime. High Point's tough. Played great defense, High Point. Tubby Smith's a good coach. But I think Radford, let's just hope they're not looking ahead. Okay, they need this game tonight. They're going to take care of business tonight before they take care of business on Saturday against Campbell. I like Radford tonight. I'd be looking money line here, though. I'd get away from the points. Auburn, Georgia. Should be a good game here. I'm still not ready to give up on the over with Auburn. I think the pace will be there in this game. I think we see a lot of foul shots. You look at the first time these two teams played, 93-78. Those teams hit 23 threes combined in that one. You look at Auburn, 7th in the country in distribution of points from the three-point line. They must score from the three-point line. It's just how they do it. Georgia just – what a quit of a season they've had. Georgia's just done. The only thing you worry about here is Georgia able to carry you enough from an offensive perspective. Because I took it over last week in the SEC. Auburn did their job, but Arkansas couldn't do their fucking job. And Auburn has had some issues at times scoring consistently on the road. Total looks a bit low. I might bite lowly on this one. Another interesting conference right now, and again, keeping your eyes open is the key in this business, everybody. It's keeping an eye on standings. One of those is down in the Southland Conference. Sam Houston's not going to lose this conference, probably, but you look at New Orleans and Abilene Christian, tied for second right now, and seeding's important. You need the correct seeding. You look at Abilene tonight. They have Texas Corpus Christi, a team they were able to take care of business in the first one. Abilene's a solid team. Like them. You look at New Orleans, they get Sam Houston State tonight. That's a tough one. I kind of like Abilene Christian tonight. It is a road game. But you look at the first time these two teams played. Took care of business. Beat them by 6 or 7. I'm sorry. Small game, small conference. Abilene looks like a pretty decent play here. Texas Corpus Christi just cannot defend the three-point line, and that's where Abilene really gets their money at. And this has been a good away team, Abilene. They've won 3 in a row on the road and 5 of 6. So they've been taking care of business away from home. I'm going to look at Abilene Christian as my other free play of the day. I think they go on the road and take care of business down at Corpus Christi. Not an incredibly far trip in this one for the Wildcats. So we'll go Abilene Christian against Corpus Christi, and then we'll also go with Texas Tech minus 14.5. Interesting game tonight for Texas. Texas at the Baylor. Baylor in revenge. Texas beat them in the first game. And guys, turn your fucking ears on here. This is important. In the first game, Texas beat Baylor. Curran Roach had 21 points. He was the leading scorer in that game. He's not playing tonight. He's suspended. Baylor playing as good a basketball as anybody. Scott Drew, I'm not a Scott Drew guy, but he is coaching and doing a really good job this year, especially for what he's had to deal with from an injury perspective. I mean, he's had Makai Mason out. He said King McClure out. He said Tristan Clark out. Mario Kegler, Mason, Butler, Vital, all those guys have been able to really right the ship for Baylor. So look at that. Baylor playing some good basketball. Now, how will Texas play without Roach? Didn't look good in the first game without him. Big game for Baylor here. They need to keep pace here. They're a team that's interesting in this conference. Lost by 12 in the first game, but now they get this one at home. I'm not sure about Texas. Without Roach, I have some concerns. Where does their scoring come from? Roach is their leading scorer. Question of, is he even going to come back this year? There's been question marks on if he'd come back. Listen, I'll say it again. This is the best college basketball show on the internet, and I mean that. I thank all of you for checking this out every day. It means a lot to me, and I thank you all for it. I think Ole Miss hangs with Tennessee. Tennessee plays Kentucky next. Yeah, maybe, but listen, I think Tennessee is a better team than Ole Miss. I'm not a big Ole Miss guy. I love Kermit Davis, but this team's kind of fell off a little bit. Big man, why don't you fuck with NBA? I do fuck with NBA. I had a whole contest for a month with King Rail. I fuck with NBA. I didn't fuck with NBA last night because there was only 3 games. The only game in NBA that I have interest in tonight is the New Orleans Pelicans. I would definitely be on them tonight. People just assume that the Lakers are going to win because, everybody's got eyes on LeBron. I'm not. Per usual, the public's betting the Lakers. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Does Lehigh get it done tonight? I don't think. American's good. They're at home. They're a great three-point defense. American's tough. I wouldn't have interest there. But American, They got to right the ship a little bit. They've lost 3 of 4. First game, held tough. This game's at home, though. Different story. We all know Lehigh has trouble defending. Am I running to the window to bet Lehigh? No. But it is a pick'em, and Lehigh's getting points, actually, 1. I'd almost prefer American was like getting 3.5. Then I'd have interest, but at this number, I don't have any interest. Another game I have my eye on, I like Hartford. They look pretty good tonight. The Hawks, they're playing some pretty good basketball. They've won 4 of 5. And while they're not going to catch Vermont, I think they can move up in the standings. They have some big games coming up against Albany and Stony Brook, but this is the important one tonight. You got to take care of business up at Binghamton. And Binghamton is, playing decently. Yeah, they're covering games, but this Hartford team's really good, really experienced. You look at Hartford, guys. They are the number 1 team in the country in experience. Whether it's Jason Dunny, John Carroll, J.R. Lynch, and really everyone up and down this roster. I mean, they're upperclassmen. They played together for a long time. And this Binghamton team stinks. I mean, it's that simple. Binghamton can't guard the 3-point line. Hartford loves the 3. Sam Sessoms, that's really the only guy for Binghamton you got to worry about. I like the way Hartford's playing. Can they go on the road and cover? I kind of like this spot here, too. Oh, man. Someone's asking about Oklahoma State. Yeah, I'm not interested. We talked about that game. I like the other side. Being in Philly, what do I think about LaSalle Davidson? I had no opinion on that one. St. Joe should be fine against Fordham. Fordham's bad. Illinois won at Maryland, beat Nebraska, blah, 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 blah. Do you think they can keep it up against Purdue? Yeah. I mean, if I had to play it, gun to my head, I would take the points. Illinois is a pretty decent underdog team. And they can bother you a little bit, the way they can turn you over. But problem for Purdue, for Illinois against Purdue, is Purdue doesn't really turn the ball over. But Purdue's terrific at protecting the basketball. And when you can get to Illinois a little bit, I mean, you can score a lot of points against them. But Purdue's not really blowing anyone out. They blew Nebraska out. And blew Ohio State out. Blew Rutgers out. But other than that, they really haven't killed people in conference. I don't know. Not really much opinion on this one. But, yeah, most of these games I've talked about, you're going to have to listen to the show back. What's my thoughts on Nevada? I would only lay it with Nevada. Drake can't keep covering. Well, listen, I don't bet on stopping streaks, Giuseppe. It's not really a good way to bet. I'm not going to look and hope that they stop covering. Now, if they stop covering, they stop covering. But I'm not going to hope that the streak stops. Settle down, Russ B. YouTube chats is not really a great way to pick up women. Settle down. Cincinnati. Yeah, that's a good spot. Yeah, I like Cincinnati. I think without Jerace Foster, SMU is cut. I mean, they are bad. They've lost 6 of 7 without him. They are giving up 76 points a game. How do you beat SMU? You make threes and you rebound. Both of things Cincinnati do well. This was close to me for a play. I considered Cincinnati a lot. I think SMU's completely quit. Just my opinion. But yeah, there you go. Some fun games tonight. Should be a great night. 2 free plays. I'm going to go Abilene Christian -1.5, and I'm going to go with Texas Tech -14.5. 2 free plays for you off the 2-0 night with those. This chat really never ceases to amaze me. Okay, I just talked about Cincinnati. Some guy comes in and goes, "Do you like SMU tonight?" I'm telling you guys, going forward, there are certain commenters here that I'm just not responding to. I mean, seriously. Seriously. Really. I just went over it. Thoughts in Indiana, Purdue. Indiana hasn't played Purdue. Illinois plays Purdue. We just talked about that one as well. This is what happens when you leave the show and go watch other stuff or go do something else. Who's out for Abilene, Bernie? How would you know that? Who's out for them? Marcus Mojica, premium question mark. I'm not sure what you're asking, Marcos. What are you asking there? Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean there, Mojica. Weird dream, JP. That's a weird dream. By the way, guys, we got the high today was 436. So we'll donate $218 to the nearest charity of my choice, which I'll post this week, and we will make sure we do that. We'll do that every 27th. You didn't get an email. Well, check your spam and folders. I sent the email to every person. Guys, I don't change the list. I send it to the same list. There's one or two people that have major issues checking their email. Check your spam and stuff. You got to check that kind of stuff. How do we buy picks? You can email me, bmocsports at gmail.com, bmocsports at gmail.com. Someone's checking in saying Jalone Friday's out. Is that guaranteed that he's out? Because we might pull that game if we know that. I see he didn't play in the last game. I mean, Jalone Friday's their best player, so that would be hazardous if he wasn't in there. How about that? Violating rules. They've been suspended. They've been kicked off the team. Okay, there we go. So here's what we're going to do, guys. All of you are kind and you're still in here. So we are going to pull that game. I'm just seeing that here. Good call, Bernie. We had someone a few weeks ago contact us about that, and we ended up not playing a game. Sometimes you don't see these with certain really small schools. So we're going to pull that game. No Abilene Christian. We're going to get off that one. And if you bet it already, just bet the other side for the same amount and you can get out of it. But I didn't put the bet in yet. But yeah, we're going to pull that one. We can't get involved with that one. Jalen Friday is their best player. So that's obviously a big loss for Abilene Christian. So I'm gonna get off the Abilene Christian play. So we'll only play tonight. It's gonna be Texas Tech minus 14.5. Great call, Bernie. The Swamp Monster. Damn it, I'm screwed. Oh my God. Settle the fuck down, dude. You don't have AIDS. Settle down. What are you flipping out about? My favorite sport to bet on is college basketball. Well, it's your own fault. You shouldn't be laying big money. That's your fault. Sorry. I know this is off the wall, but what do you think about the ads YouTube's been putting on kids' videos talking about depression and telling them a way to kill their parents? Yeah, I saw that. I don't know much about that, but I did see that. I did see that. That's fucked up. Hopefully, if you're out there and you have kids, make sure you look that story up. Make sure you're watching. Make sure they're not watching videos by themselves. That stuff's fucked up, and hopefully it gets stopped. So yeah, make sure you speak to your kids about that kind of stuff, guys. I don't have kids, but there's kids today. They love the tablets and the phones and stuff. Make sure you're watching what they're watching. Make sure they're not watching shit when you're not around, because kids are very easily swayed on things. With a $500 bankroll, what is recommended for a single play? I don't know, $10. But yeah, that's sad. I hate seeing kind of stuff like that. Hopefully, no one's had to deal with crap without that. Am I still moving to AC? I haven't been there for years. Yeah, it's getting cleaned up. Where I'm looking at it is. Yeah, Chicago, Illinois, you're out of here. I've seen you asking people for weed in the chats. Go away. Go away. Settle down, SoCal. UMass Lowell. Yeah, I don't have an opinion on that one. I wouldn't really step in front of Maine right now, put it that way. Maine's playing good basketball. Derek Miller. Big man doesn't always work for free. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Derek? Am I a John Cicada fan? I don't know who John Cicada is. Can't answer that. Make sure you're checking out our sponsor, MyBookie. Make sure you go get yourself an account with MyBookie. Great book, and I recommend checking them out. You can get a 50% deposit bonus by using promo code BMOC in the promo line when opening your account. Don't let your kids watch SMU basketball. Good point. The best troll ever was the guy promoting his Snapchat and saying he wants to show himself to be a big man. I don't remember that guy. Were the guys that on ACU big contributors? Yes, Jalon Frade is their best player. So yeah, that's good enough for me. I actually didn't see that info. I usually am good with finding that kind of stuff, but according to Evan Nemec, who is a reporter up in that area, he's pointed it out. Violating university policies and behavior inconsistent with the values of the university. So there you go. There's no injury. They were kicked off the team. What do I think about a rapper in Florida that committed double murder? I think he's going to jail for life. Do you like to play teams in the first half if they win a game in OT? Not sure I've really done that. Yeah, I don't remember that guy actually. Nevada will beat Vegas tonight. I agree. I've talked about it. I've talked about Nevada for a while. SIU in Evansville. Lean SIU. Playing good basketball right now. Exactly, Derek. You're right about that. All right, guys. That will be it. We succeeded today. We made $218 for charity. So I will make sure that I contribute that to the charity and make sure I post that on Twitter. Not that I really want to, but I will. Do I think LaMelo Ball goes to the NBA? Yes, I do. I think LaMelo Ball is terrific. 100%. Oh, can he play college ball? Yeah, yeah. I mean, he recently said that he was going to play college ball. I think he's talked to Kansas, USC. I don't, I don't know who else he discussed, but I mean, he'd have to get cleared to play though. It'll be tough. I mean, he'd have to fight it. They'd have to get him eligible. I was under the impression that he had thrown out his eligibility, and teams may avoid him just because of his issues. But he can say all he wants, but doesn't exactly mean he is. Thank you, Robbie. Any thoughts on Pitt basketball going forward? I think they're in the right hands. I mean, I think Capel's going to do some good things there. I think they can get back to the yesteryear. Capel's a good recruiter. It'll take some time, but they had some good teams back in the 2000s, early 2010, 9, 8. The Nasir Robinson, Lamar Patterson teams, Levance Fields, Gary McGee, those teams, they're solid. And what Jamie Dixon did is he targeted Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York. Good recruiter. But yeah, they have the right guy there. Yeah, I doubt USC would get involved with him. They're already involved with some NCAA problems. I don't know if they would. I don't think they would go down that avenue. What do I think about Loyola Chicago tonight? Until they get Lucas Williamson back, I'm staying away from them. Thank you, Lance. Appreciate it. All right, guys, we're out of here. You all enjoy your night. Thanks for checking us out. We appreciate your kindness and checking out the show and all the questions as always. We'll take a shot with Texas Tech tonight. Free play of the day. Thanks to our friend Bernie, who threw out some good information on Abilene Christian, mentioning about Jalone Friday. It was recently reported that he wouldn't be playing tonight. So good stuff there from him. Thanks a lot, Bernie. People will probably ask me, well, you were going to give 2 free plays out. Now you're only giving out 1. I'll throw out I'll just throw out 1. You'll have a nice night. Thanks for joining me. This has been the NCAA Hoops Hour. I am the big man on campus. You all have a nice